Folks, Samson too. Enjoying myself already. Wow. Sweet breeze, sweet breeze. Let me do it one more time. Sweet breeze, let me do it one more time. Yes. Folks, Samson to La Propa Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning into La Propa Radio. I'm already enjoying myself this afternoon. Thank you, folks, again. Why am I not hearing myself? Oh, excuse me. Again, folks, Samson to La Propa Radio. Quickly. Uh, Somebody suggested yesterday that when I'm praying, I need to close my eyes. So we'll try that again. But the reason is it's in my heart. God is in my heart. So I'm not too sure if I need to do that. But as people would suggest to you, it's better you listen sometime. Let's try that. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening. As we come before you, my Lord, that you help us, bless us, give us long life, give us the strength, give us the energy. My Lord, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for waking us up every day. Thank you, my Lord, for doing whatever it is you do for us. We thank you. My Lord, as we come before you again tonight, we ask that you bless the Republic of Liberia, the people of the Republic of Liberia, and bless the President of the Republic of Liberia. Give him long life. Whatever he touches, my Lord, in your name, help him out so that Liberia will be moving forward. Whatever is happening in the country, we put that in your hand as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, you know what, folks? I think, remember the diviner? My earplug. You know what, folks? I'm going to try to do this closing eyes business because for some reason the spirit was in me tonight. But we're here for Tabata. Thank you. That's my daughter. Thank you. Thank you. We're here for Tabata. I hope Mr. So is trying to stay away from my show here tonight because I want to get in the groove because it seemed to me that the analysts want to stay away from me. That's okay. That's okay. I can talk. So this praying with closing your eyes stuff that seemed to be rejuvenating my spirit here this evening. Thank you very much. But let me go ahead and say this here, folks. Let me say this to you. Yes. I'm going to be ridiculous this evening. I'm going to be ridiculous this evening. I'm going to be ridiculous this evening. Because this government that we all fought for to bring into power, this government is losing the grip. And I got no other way to put it but to be truthful. We're losing the grip. And we're going to stand up. We're not going to hide it. We will do it with respect and we'll do it with responsibility. The Supreme Court asked the people that just stand down, and they have no respect. And these are people the president wants to deal with, and which I don't believe the president is dealing with them. I think someone within the president's circle want to deal with them. And the funny thing is, yes. You see, I don't want to say this here because sometimes when we come out here, we try to protect our image, and this is not the way to do about it. So I'm going to put myself out there right now, and the sedition will try to eat me alive tonight. They will try to chop me down every way possible, which it doesn't matter to me. I will hope that even the analysts don't even show up. Let me enjoy myself on this one here tonight. But Mr. So it's soon find time to come enter my show again tonight. That he does that all the time. All the time. And we're going to find our own black, our own majority or minority black to unseat him. So let's go ahead. Again, folks, if you're listening, this is Samson Tola, Public Radio. If this unity party, Clarence David, listen to me, you might not agree with me tonight. Clarence David, you might not agree with me. Let me bring in Dr. Toto here. While I'm getting ready to talk my tabata, I hope Dr. Toto will push back strongly. Clarence David, listen to me, you might not agree with me tonight. Dr. Toto.
Yo.
When because you can't disagree with me, when you wear your dog or
yeah, I went 5 years or so, you must not the same level to die.
Then my tabata coming down, you ready to push back to
yeah. You must not the same level to die. I'll be how all old people to die, or you know the party people.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead, Dr. Turu. Welcome. I enjoy you all the time. Let's have it. But on a very serious note, Doc, this president and the Unity Party, they are preparing President we are to retake the executive mansion.
Definitely so. I agree with you.
This thing that the people are playing with.
I agree
Look
with
at the kinds of stuff. The American embassy is shaking hands with President Weah on issue that President Weah has no control over. The American ambassador shaking hands with President Weah, telling President Weah we want peace. They're not telling President Baka, President Baka who control the peace issue in Liberia. They are telling President Weah we want peace.
We want peace.
They people, they Unity Party, they're not care for President. You know the sad thing is they're holding President Weah into the White House. I mean into the executive mansion.
Yeah.
You support these people. The Supreme Court said don't do that. Then you're still there. You're not condemning. And President Weah, you know why the people? I truly believe, and I don't know that, but I'll say anyway. The American embassy and the American ambassador has so much respect for President Weah that perhaps he decided to talk to President Weah so President Weah will calm things down. Why would the American ask President Weah to calm things down? And I'm a father of the nation. This is ridiculous, Dr. Tutu.
that good at all. A laborer. I'm so disappointed. The government that we supported, we need their only support with our word, but also with our resources, to make that government be successful. Or two front that are that occur right in my present right now. The last time I want to show you are talking about an incident that happened with the Guinea, Jordan, to Liberia to extradite somebody to the government in the hours, in the midnight. And it got me to be taking labor. We have the National Security Advisor for Liberia, Kofi Wood, who is a human rights lawyer.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
know the light of Kofi Wood those days when they were speaking.
When I don't mean to cut you off. When our old man died, Francis, Bishop Francis died. That whole human rights stuff went with the old man.
Yeah,
People not the real Kofi Wood, we know.
People that Kofi Wood, you are National Security Advisor. Apart from that, you will sit there and allow for extradition to be done 3 a.m. in the morning, midnight, where Jordan enter your territory, and the government have not even addressed that issue to even talk about it, how the whole process play. And now, look at what happened right on the Capitol building. Even at Bush, we don't like Fanatic Kofa to be the Speaker of the House. We don't like it. But we all front are here some time ago. And we're even calling for a resignation. We say, look, Mr. Speaker, anything not going your will to see face or nothing there, just step aside and resign. And the Speaker said, no, I will not resign. We'll go to the law. Now, it's like, I don't know why to get fired now. And now, Liberal, and what happened now, the momentum is shifting gear now.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
shifting gear now because
yes.
when the so-called minority black cry, so don't have the number, okay. They say we will give you people to make up for due process to be followed. And look at how the guy demanded the process so quick. He elected a speaker. Now go to the Supreme Court again. And I'm when I worry the host liberal, the Supreme Court was supposed to interpret the law. And I don't know why they jiggy the law. They don't want to come up front and say black and white. They always looking at opinion that create dark.
Yeah, but Dr. Toto, the Supreme Court usually don't give you clear cut. They let you to do these, they put the words in because they're lawyer.
In a critical situation like this, that had a propensity to derail the country to chaos, we hold on the Supreme Court to do the right thing.
So I'm sure they will do the right thing. They will definitely find on the side of Frantikofa. But what even if they find on the side of Frantikofa most likely do not want that position anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
But here's what's going to happen to Unity Party and its people. Musa Belete going to be speaker.
Oh yeah.
Because Frantikofa will throw his weight behind Musa Belete.
Yeah.
Rachel Kun is done. That left hand he put up. He's done. He's done. That left hand he put up. He's done.
The Russian process so bad. So even in the Supreme Court rule in favor of Fanatikova, and then Fanatikova, because they would not go back to the gap of Fanatikova, they will still resort back to their so-called majority black. They say we have no confidence in the speaker. We don't want to be on his travel, and which would be good at least at that time. Citizen and good. Mother Liberian people can call on Fanatikova. You went through the Supreme Court, you went through the law on your side, we see the thing, for the move the country forward.
But doctor, that is not even going to go that far.
No.
If they come and sit on them, I predict if they come and sit on Frantikofa, President Weah and Frantikofa will ice members of their supporters, the members, the representatives who are supporting Frantikofa, to say y'all go get people the 49. Because here's the thing here. They will give them the 49 and then Frantikofa are going to be removed legally. Now, when that happens, Frantikova right now, he's second to President Weah, and I mean third to President Weah and President Waka in terms of popularity and new recognition in the country. Frantikova is all over. He's known all over. Now, if that happens, they will give the Frantikova and the people. I predict they will ask some of their supporters to go give people the foreign now, so Frantikova, Speaker Kofa will be removed. Once that happens, that their thing they're doing over there. Today, what's his name? Tamon Fala, he was not there. Many of some other people, some other group from CDC, because they recognize now. You see, this is what they were fooling them. They didn't know. Yeah. They recognize now. So, they think we're doing here that for Rachel Kun to come put a left hand on business. Rachel Kun that we rejected. That for him to come put a left hand on and say we're gonna set honor him too. We're not gonna do that. So this thing is much deeper. But here's the funny thing here. Here's the real deal. Rachel Kun, Unity Party, they're fooling themselves. Musa Benete going to be reelected with the support of sedition. And believe me, what's his name? Tamon Fala is no longer going to be deputy. They still fooling like nothing else. We're not thinking.
Libra, why would Musa Benete speaker say you're looking at? Why?
Because the reason I'm saying this is this. With the supporters still supporting Frantikova, the only logical person, logical name that is out there that you can say the president will be is Musa Benete. No one else within the Frantikova group that will want to be speaker at this time. Yeah. Number one. Second, they will not bring back Tamon Fala to go and step up the plate. And this is what Tamon Fala doing what he did. This is why it fooled him. Because when the people, you see, this is the Liberian politicians.
Yeah, Tamon Fala, but he done.
Oh, of course. The Liberian politicians, they're not smart. When the American ambassador shaking hand with President we are today, everybody say they're done. They're not going to go farther than that. Yeah. They're not going to go farther than that. So the issue now is let's see what the Supreme Court going to say tomorrow. But from my perspective, I would predict Frantikova going to win. And the whatever block they call themselves, they will say we're sovereign branch of government and blah blah blah, all kind of good stuff. Now, with President, we are being respected by the American embassy and the American ambassador today. You see, this is, and I'll go further than that. This is the same president we are. We gotta be careful. That man, winter time, he will come back. This is the same president we are. Before the election was over, he said, "You win." That thing go into the pound, into the pound of the American. They're holding that thing. Even a president we was to be guilty of stealing billions of dollars. The fact that he did that in Africa, in West Africa, where you have Sierra Leone, ranking, you have Guinea, you have trouble in Africa, all the other places, and President we said, "You won."
You won.
Come and get it. The American hold that thing, and President we he learning. They begin learning.
And also, they are giving you a free walk to President Weah. Because just by saying what President Weah did last year, to concede, it was a spread all over Africa.
Yeah.
Different platform. People try to set an example. And then if you come back again and look at all the political tension in the country right now.
Right.
And then you see the impact is going on. And President Boyka, when he came from Sierra Leone, I think they asked him about the impact. He said he had no comment on it because of legislative issue. I said, "Oh, Mr. President, you are wrong."
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying. Anybody with anything continue like this, anybody hand our father pull up, he said this is because most likely he's not going to see second term. If he sees second term, he's not going to win. Not with the kinds of stuff like this. There's nothing that you can actually put your hand on. and say, well, the president, we defend him. We will defend him. We will not yet apologize. But we'll also be truthful.
Yeah,
What is
definitely
it
so.
now? What is
Yeah.
it that the president has done and this government has done that we can count on and try to base our argument on to say this
Yeah,
is what we had. This is
I
what
mean, definitely because,
we're not
uh,
doing. We're not ready. I mean, we're not. Let me bring in
yeah,
Terry, who's gonna try to pull out of saying Magari again tonight. He has taken over Sese position. Let me bring in. Let me bring in
yeah,
Terry. Terry, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Dr. Tutu
yeah,
and
good evening,
Libra.
Terry.
So Terry,
Yeah,
thank you for joining us. That I'm just saying to you,
yeah,
until but we got six,
Libra,
we got 5 more years. In fact, we
Libra,
got 6 more years.
Libra.
Yeah.
I had a discussion with a very good friend yesterday. I said, okay, let's assume that Fodani Cooper is a stumbling block to the government progress. You know, so what are some of the tangible projects or initiatives the government are taking that we can see that will see the speaker trying to block those project?
Yeah.
And I say, show me one tangible project that the government want to take within the 9 months they take over that for that they go try to block the government for the project that to move on because the speaker had to approve a budget or to approve a certain. Show me it.
Nothing.
Nothing. So I don't rather see the fight, to be fair. And why the fight to be supported by some inner circle and for the executive branch. And let's look at President Boyka. Let's look at the president. They're taking on the presidency. But the type of person he is, he's the father of the nation.
Yes.
Yeah. If you see such a thing going on, what will you do? Call the children behind closed door that have no interference with legislative power whatsoever that you want to call it. But I'm deeply disappointed in the whole process of the Unity Party government that will support.
No, Unity Party.
Terry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Terry, I'm not happy, man. So what's up?
Yeah. Well, the thing is about Unity Party, Dr. Tutu. What I do believe is this. I think, and it's hard thing. Many of them are young, and they dual citizenship is going to work this time around because plenty of them will run away from Monterey after the election. Unity Party are not going to. They'll be defeated, and they can't stay. But there were people. You see, this is why up to this time the economic and war crime code and going after Samuel 12, we know even because they know you started, they will end it for you. See, they're just like Israel. You do smart thing to you, they come boom and babuso you totally. So sedition, I know them. But I'm not afraid of them. I take them on anytime. But let me bring in Terry. Terry, thank you for joining us. What's coming out of your phone tonight that perhaps you think we need to hear from you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with you guys in some part, and some other part I disagree. But you guys are on point. The Unity Party, that why I didn't support them because I don't like the leadership, the format, the politics, and all the kind of thing. They got a sense of entitlement.
Terry, just hold on 1 minute, please. Yeah. Ambassador Dan, please close your ear on the one tonight. Yeah, I don't want your sedition for you to hear me. I know somebody will be recalling me now. You close your ear. I don't hear to come praise you. I just want to be truthful. So, Ambassador Dan, you come in here laughing. You even say hi to the liberal. You come in laughing, then close your ear. Go ahead, Terry. Welcome, Ambassador. Go ahead, Terry.
Well, look at where I disagree is, first of all, the statement coming from the ambassador is something, but it's not something. What I mean is that the ambassador is on his way out. This is a new government in power, or what he named Trump. Trump is not a Democrat. Trump is a Republican. Trump do not care about what go on in Liberia. He's not going to care.
So you know that ambassador going to be replaced?
Obviously, that ambassador will be replaced.
No, you know that.
No, I don't know that, but okay. I can predict that.
Okay, all right. So when Trump came in 2016, which was the ambassador in Liberia he replaced?
Well,
Like you said, Trump don't care for those places. He's not gonna touch those kind of people. Who you gonna send over there? Another Rubio or Matt Gaetz? That people you send to Liberia? Trump is looking for the big meat. What you doing, ambassador in Liberia?
No, who told you that? It's important for American foreign policy.
Okay.
So he's not gonna. So the ambassador right now, his statement is good, but it doesn't.
Terry, let me push back quickly. Don't disregard that. This is a senior ambassador. Day before yesterday, we're on a helicopter with your chief of staff, going from county to county to assess the security threat to Liberians.
I agree.
Try to discount the
No. The ambassador, I'm not discounting his role right now.
Yeah, but the fact that he was able to, having had that kind of view from above about Liberian security, and he made that statement with President Weah. Let's try by all means to maintain the peace. And you want to discount that?
That is what American.
That's very important. This is what he did today. It's a clear indication that President Weah will be welcomed back.
Granted, but President Weah during his time, did he listen to any American ambassador when he was speaking to him? Any member of FACAO?
You see the way I learn about us. We always like to throw things there.
But that's it.
You think they care for what happened in the past?
No, labor. The past matter. Okay. The past matter because you're saying the man coming back, and I want to disagree with you that he's not coming back.
Okay.
You're not coming back, President. We are not coming back.
You know what I'm going to tell you.
What I mean by he's not coming back.
Let me say this.
He may come back to run, but he will not win.
Let me say this. Let me say this to you.
You
know Baghdad Bob, right? When during the desert storm, during the desert war. Oh, we're American. They're nowhere around here. They're not coming. American knocking to your door, they equal. Hey, they're not coming. American knocking to they just crossed the border. Oh, they're not coming. Well, that's bad. You know what sedition will call us? The sedition that watch our show, they will call you and say Baghdad Bob.
Forget that thing.
Okay.
That years from today.
Let me ask Terry a question. Terry.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at? What are some of the things you say that president, like an American president, we ought to be real like that next year?
The political dynamics is going to change within the period of 5 years. What I'm going to look at is, take for example, President Weah is careless when it comes to how to run political affairs and political organizations. And you can see it from the fanatical fast scenario. The men were out of the country all the time. The men were fighting his battle. The third most powerful man in the country, even when he came from the Ballon d'Or. I think the only most important trip, international trip President Weah made was to go and give that Ballon d'Or. Even me, if I were in a party, I would advise that he go and do that. But after that, all the other things that he was on at Tabata, okay, they're trying to remove your man. You didn't come back in the country to fight. You came back now when Unity Party have already undermined the man and taken over. Then you call few lawmakers. Look at how they were looking funny today talking with Yeke Koluba. So what I'm saying is that there are several factors that will not bring President Weah back. Several indicators that the Liberian people will look at to not bring him back. All right. And one of those major indicators, and don't forget, Unity Party is in power. Unity Party, reason why...
Terry, I don't mean to interrupt you tonight, but I think your tabata is getting more than my own. Your tabata is getting more than my own.
I'll put in my foot in my mouth, but
I think so. I don't want to reach that far. I think your tabata is getting more than my own.
Let me put my foot in my mouth.
Okay, that means
the reason why, let me tell you the reason why CDC, and let me tell you, President Weah is not a political guru. He's not. And Labour know what I'm talking about. If President Weah was a political guru, he would have never given power to Unity Party. Because 20,000 votes, and I want to believe is our press tool that helped to boost it. Because 20,000 votes, look at the man in Sierra Leone. The man took the election.
But
he took
that was President Weah.
Terry, you just like you said, Terry, hold on 1 minute. Like you said, you put your foot in your mouth, and you now only 1 foot. You put 2 feet in your mouth.
Yeah.
The man, you're telling us that the man conceded. And yeah, fine. But you believe that if it was any other African country, they were never going to concede.
They were even the Unity Party.
Yes, Unity Party without number.
I can bet anything.
I agree with you. But
Unity Party will not concede with 20,000 votes to President.
I agree with you. But this is what I'm saying to you now. Because of that, the next election, if the same thing flip around, Unity Party will be forced to give up power. They will not reject. Because if they do so, ECWA will not accept them. ECWA will not recognize their government. The United States government will not recognize their government. And many other partners will not recognize their government. They will say, look what you did, what President Weah did. He gave you power over just 200 or whatever thousand votes. I mean, not even that much. Okay? And they're not gonna do it. So this is what we're saying to you. Because President Weah said, I gave you the American, the European, the Chinese, all of the people, even the communist country, they respect him. And if he coming back and clean house and bring fresh people who Liberian will be trusting. You think with what is happening in the government in the 9 months, if that kinds of thing continue, you think the Liberian people will not look back to George Weah?
Yeah,
George Weah is still popular. Remember that.
What we need to get here is, first of all, like I said, right, from the beginning, I myself gave recommendation to CDC to come back. I told you 4 different things that would make CDC come back: rebrand the party, blah, 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 change your message and all of that. Have CDC done it? No, they have not done it. And I'm not saying that I see your brother, sister right here.
He finished taking Gaza. What's that name again? Gaza bar. He finished taking Gaza bar cartel. Says the food will be in Liberia. He can't be in Liberia right now. That cartel he took from the old man. What do you mean? He can't go to Liberia.
I'm not saying that to be political guru, you have to rig elections. That's not what I'm supporting.
No, but Terry, that's why your statement implied that maybe you try to retry that statement.
What's it? No, I'm saying that Toto, the politics in Liberia is whack. The politics in Liberia is not a real democratic politics. All right. And you saw the war that we fought. After the war, Liberian did not learn. During Ellen time, during Ellen regime, it is alleged that Ellen rigged the election from CDC. 4 more years.
Three times.
If you remember
2 times.
If you remember 2011, the election commission announced the result, the preliminary the result in favor of CDC. Then later on, the man said he made a mistake. That's one of the reasons why CDC said they boycott the election. And the only reason why President Weah won that election was because Unity Party had expelled Madam Sirleaf from the party. They came down on her high because she never wanted Joseph Boakai to become president because she didn't trust him. You understand? Eh? So that's the only reason she was leaving power. So she wanted for somebody to protect her family. And apparently, President, we are committed to that. And we saw the result. That he whole 6 years, there was nobody in the former regime that he persecuted. That was one of the reasons why
how many people are our father now prosecute?
But at the first year now, me myself, I've been talking to the man to persecute people.
Yeah.
But this is
I like Terry who was
Terry, all that
That's the first year.
Yeah,
so
all that
no prosecutor.
All that thing was political propaganda, man. All that thing was political propaganda. I think the guy that gave the president we are a free walk. If you look at some of the messages that they preached against the CDC government a few years ago when they run their campaign, they were using Eugene what the guy Mo Ali, they were using a lot of negative propaganda against other people. But look how happy
that propaganda did not really help because listen,
It
If
have.
CDC won an election, you saw what CDC did to Telly Ayure. You saw how they dealt with that girl, and they took the election from. You saw what they did to what he did to Bani Samuka. When
Yeah.
see, let me tell you what weakened president we are. What helped to make a unity party to win was the international community. President we are
That the
so.
same
Let me tell you.
international community,
But that's the
So
same
President
thing.
Weah have exposed himself
that's what
as
I'm
being
telling you.
as being a genuine person.
This particular ambassador is a toothless.
No.
Listen,
Don't say that,
The
Terry.
verity, the
Even if
verity
you're
is
gonna be
speaking.
removed, Terry, even if this man gonna be
No.
removed, the living document.
This is
Any other person come in charge, the documents are there to show
forget
this
about
report.
document. Donald Trump
Okay, forget
already
about that.
told you that he don't have time for African leadership. The man
That
called you,
mean,
the man pronounced certain name on you the other day.
so
When
that
the
means you
Lord
not
took
change it.
power.
So that
How
means
many contributions did he
you
make to
not change the
Liberia?
ambassador, right? So
Huh?
that means you not change that means you not change it or the ambassador. If he doesn't care for Africa, why we want to
No,
waste your time to change
the man could change the ambassador and tell the ambassador, say, look, first of all, it's alleged that Donald Trump want to close the DV program. Donald Trump is not interested in, what going on in Africa. The man want to stop the wars to cut down the budget. He wants stop. He want even Donald Trump won't cut down
That
the
focus
amount
on
of money
Liberia,
America
Donald Trump,
spend
or
in
then
Liberia.
the American politics, or that focus on
Yeah.
Liberia.
What I want to say here is that the ambassador that over there now is a Democrat. Is a Democrat ambassador. You and I know that I man when I stay down there.
Okay.
Number one, number two, right? Number two, or what I wanted to say is so President we are leadership. Let how they destroy him. And it was a Democrat in power, and that is how Democrats fight against people who go against the human right and all of that. For Donald Trump, he don't care. But they cut all the root, the big root. They did that when you want to cut a tree in a town down a big tree, you cut all the root off. That how the American people did President we are. Your finance minister, when you are depending on the post sanction on him. Jefferson Koji, the post sanction on him. All the people, your right-hand man, Minister of State, they put sanction on him. With all those kind of people that around you got sanction, how you gonna function? Who you will depend on if you rig the election? Who you will depend on to support you? Then the CIA or boss called him to go to America. You and I know the story. When he went there, you and I know the dossier that came about Liberia about extrajudicial killing, all those kind of things. It was not good. The cloud were over him and signs were on the wall. So he had to give up. The pressure from the international community. It was not there because he just wanted to do it.
What happened next door? What happened next door Guinea? What happened to Senegal? Did he get, when he got king, he kicked all the French people, whatever, in Mali, what's the name? Niger? You think President President Weah will take power? And you were there for 6 years. He didn't let you yourself say that he wasn't listening to the American ambassador. You are not listening to the American. So if you were to do that and say, you know what, I'm staying in power, what would have happened to him? They were not going to assassinate him.
What?
He was never going to be assassinated.
No,
so
that one is fine for my mom. I'm not going to be.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying this. I'm just saying. No. They have done. The U.S. have done it before. They assassinated Patrick Lumumba. So they apologize. So we know those things. But that's not the point. The point that I'm making here, Terry, is this: if President we are to take the other option that you seem to look at and say, I'm not leaving. This is not enough. Let's go to rerun. Let's go with challenge. And President we are most likely would have won. But here's the issue here. The fact that President we are broad daylight, when the entire world were looking, he said this does not require fighting. We will keep our peaceful democracy going. That thing went in the heart and foot of the American, whether Donald Trump or not. It's within them to say this young man has the people in West Africa at heart. Now, with this kinds of, I'm not saying that President we y'all get her and come back. No. But with this kinds of misstep that we see in our government, the government that we run away for.
No, maybe that
why
makes us
run away for?
Maybe that makes us that
maybe
That it is ready.
that it is really annoying.
Yeah.
Annoying.
So,
But the point that I'm
The
making
Israelis
is
say are
that,
talking Tabata.
yeah, if the way this government is going, with all of these missteps, and it continues like this, and yes, the interesting thing, Terry, that you have to take into consideration, Spoon Network is exposing this government to the highest level.
yeah.
People all over the world are listening. If this government don't change around and try to produce and try to utilize the goodwill of the international community that they're giving him now, if he doesn't change around and do something for people to remember one term, and President, we have because if even with things like this here, what happened right now? Frantic Kofa most likely might not even try to go for the presidency. That whether vice president or not, but he will support President Weah presidency
Labor.
because he
What you
knows when
see,
President Weah comes, most likely Frantic Kofa will be the how do you call it, justice
Labor.
minister.
President Weah is not going to come back to the presidency.
Okay.
And do
Give me
why-
good
I
reason.
don't
Give me
I don't
let
want- to say something.
Dr. Toto come in.
Yeah,
Terry.
I
Let's
just
hear
I
from you.
don't I don't know why Terry keeps saying that President Weah cannot come back to the presidency. What is happening right now? What is unfolding before our eyes? Okay, look at the prediction. It's a clear indication. Then you keep saying that President Weah not coming back to the presidency. I think you need to take that word back.
Yeah.
Yes, you ready, brother?
Terry, let me clear that again. I said what is
Okay.
happening right now that we're all not happy with.
Yeah.
If it continues
Yeah.
for the next 4 or 5 years, Liberia will be yearning for President Weah.
Labor. And
Yeah.
I do agree with you that if it continue, Liberia
Yes.
will start to yearn for a leader, not for President Weah.
Okay.
Now, let me. I understand that you think that President Weah is the option, will be the option for the Liberian people because CDC got some kind of popularity. But
And not
in
only that, it's
Liberia,
President Weah himself,
yeah,
individually.
he's popular.
Yeah,
But what
say
the people
so.
fear is that the people have seen President Weah's 6-year leadership. And let me tell you something. To win election, you need strategies. Strategies. That's what you need to win elections. That strategy, President Weah lack strategies. Like I said, let me tell you what made President Weah win the election. President Weah won the election because Ma Ellen gave it to him. But Ma Ellen set all the strategy, all the era. That old lady, she set everything for him to win.
Yeah. Tonight, you go into the liberal, you went into the liberal backyard and pick up all liberal tabata and say, "Bloom, you're gonna waste it tonight." I'm listening to you.
I put my phone in my mouth tonight. Let me tell you.
I tell you.
President Weah could not win election on their own. When he had the power to win it, he could not win it. And this is the scary thing that will make him because Unity Party is a strategic political party. And you saw it. One of the things is President Weah is not friendly with the people from Nima County.
Okay.
Now we see him falling off with Tomo Fala, who helped him in Lofa County.
Okay.
He not having good, and that is how President Weah looking. When he start to get problem with you, he take it. He forget about politics. He become personal. And that is why I say he's not a political figure. Look at Joseph Boga. People who sat on the radio and say the Papa, oh, he will be wearing people that he will be wearing dapper. These are the people the president went for. That the people he lobbied men like Prince Johnson. What everybody say the man is the devil. He lobbied him because he know he was looking for votes. President Weah got a whole Southeast, gave it to him, the popularity, blah, 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 all the kind of tabata, we agree. Okay. But you have to win Nima County.
Okay, you're done?
You have to win Lofa.
Let me disabuse you a little bit. You
also dominate
let me disabuse you and
President Weah has to change the narrative in this place.
Listen now. Politics is not static. We all agree. It's moving. So President Weah, looking back at this gone election, there are certain aspects of his leadership that the Liberian people rejected. For him as an individual, he's still loved all over the country. If President Weah, now these are all if, I've been saying all if tonight. If President Weah goes out and rebrand himself and come back with crew of people that does not include what's his name, finance minister, that does not include people like Eugene Nabweden, all of those people that people Liberians blame for President Weah government failing. If he comes back with brand new folks, Liberians, who will now rebrand President Weah, knowing further, and this is what was failing then. President Weah popularity alone. If you hang on to that popularity and sell that popularity and rebrand the president, he will win hands down. In fact, I will predict to you, if he goes against anybody from Unity Party, he will win 15 out of 15 county. Nima County will fall right behind him. Lofa County will fall right behind him. So
let me tell you.
Okay, Terry, let's forget it. Let's get back into our book, guys. Guys, let's get back into our book. Again, folks, if you listen to Mr. So,
yeah, I wait that shit to them, so I can't be honest. Now,
Mr. So, good evening, Terry. Let me make the announcement. Welcome, folks. Labrador Public Radio, Mr. So, thank you for joining us. Terry and Dr. Toto, let's get back into our supporting more and let's continue to support this government.
The Labrador, 1 second. I was enjoying your conversation.
No, the way.
Wow, what a fascinating conversation tonight.
yeah, well,
Wow.
we want to be real.
See, that's it different.
Oh,
Wait.
you want to be real tonight. Well, two confession taking place.
All every night. That's what you here for. What is your point? What's on your plate, Mr. So?
Let me tell you and make it one of the most bizarre political things that will occur in 2029. We all pray to see it. Unusual. And I think that you guys are making good prediction here this evening. A good it came from earlier, not because I want to say it. You are going to labor means, which of course you're good at. Now, what this your party has done, you, Terry, Dr. Toto, LPP drop out. You all decided to go with you have done CDC a big favor. And yeah, what's gonna happen? What we didn't see happen, people were arguing. Oh, our vice president can't be this. Don't be surprised when George Weah, on purpose to come back to state power, most likely go second to Fanatic Kofa to strengthen the structure. Listen, Terry, we're talking politics. In order to
But break it down, what George Weah go have vice president for Fanatic Kofa?
Of course, what's wrong with that? You never see people living from president to
That's a fun thing.
Just telling you.
It would not work.
Politicians, listen,
That's a beautiful ticket.
It's only Liberian politicians. We're talking to people and we see what is happening. What has happened right now, no matter what it is, the real Liberia, I'm not talking about these Reverend and other people who break away and they are so hurt and they want to get their feelings into national conversation. But I'm telling you right now, in order to strengthen and validate and change the structure to remake of CDC, don't be surprised when Fanatic Kofa has the ticket and most likely George Weah go as number. He just doesn't care. It can happen. We're seeing people come from presidency, from senator to go down. It is only in Liberia. It's so weird that when these kind of things happen, it happens. But
let me add Mr. Goya, Sister Goya. Thank you for joining us.
Where he ever?
They make
But no, we have it. Go ahead, Mr. Stowe, make your point.
So it's most likely that could be because CDC just needs to be restructured, get a good arrowhead, and do what it's supposed to do. It's not too late. You can't rule George Weah out, whatever bad things are happening. We saw those bad things with the Unity Party. They came because people were mad. The same way people got mad, these same people can get this. All George Weah needs to do now go to some good seminars, good leadership, go to good places, attend some leadership workshop, symposium, attend some. I'm telling you, just how to make critical decisions. Those are the tutoring that he needs to do now and be able to speak. The speaking that we're not doing, that's what we see happening now. People are not speaking. I'm just telling you what you need to know. What are you want to welcome it? That is okay. But I like your conversation here tonight. It's too cordial.
Thank you. Let me bring in Sissy. Sissy, go ahead. Thank you for joining us. What's on your plate?
I think
your sound is having some echo over there.
well, I don't have anything on. Everything is off.
Okay.
You
All right.
You hear me better?
Yeah, but it's like the
Let
room
me
has an
let me
echo
see
by
the
itself too. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Usually your speaker, your sound is not like that. But go ahead.
I think, look, Mr. So is right to the extent that Satan can still go back to hell. He can still be an angel if he does everything right. If Lucifer can still go back if he retracts away.
Hello, the little children.
Well, what's that coming from?
You can require choir. That inaugural choir for 2029 so quick.
What's the song coming from?
That a Lama Queen was singing.
But what that music? What that she the one was singing?
I don't know.
Yeah, she was singing. It was like one of those. It was like one of those inaugural. Yeah,
she took the microphone and she turned to the other side and she's singing in the microphone.
Because you know you are about to talk Tamata, so you talk.
Right.
Not let bad things to happen.
Look, see why?
Go in the ring with Paul.
She just like the majority black. That she hijacked the show. Now we can hear you. You're muted. We can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Check your mic.
We can. They get rid of this.
Yeah, I
You
think
make them live power.
Yeah.
There you go. Let una go.
I really like this. I really like this.
No, but what a serious thing, people taking it for fun. Joshua, it didn't happen before. And he went as presidential and came down to vice presidential. It didn't happen before.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying here,
of course, George, we are tasting the presidency right now. And
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And before that,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. No, there are two possible scenarios here. George Weah can be like a godfather of the party, which of course you don't have to be president if you trust Fanati. I'm telling you, Fanati Kofa was with George Weah. There are few for him full of sedition who has created a sort of bad blood that, oh, this guy doing this, he's not real. But
so
George
Weah, now, Libra, first let me ask a question. So
George Weah, no, let me definitely the point quick.
Let's
ask a question.
You're muted. Your mic is muted.
Alfonso, let me ask a question.
Your mic is muted.
Can you guys hear me now?
yeah, very good.
You talk about George Weah. You talk about George Weah or a fanatic over ticket. According to the Constitution, okay, 2 points for the same country for the same ticket.
They can make it.
So that the
United Party will contest it.
Fanatic Kofa can cancel it from Bolsonaro.
It's possible.
But I think
Anything
you
can
said
happen.
So they said, may I get my say? I want to dump my say before Mr. So go. I want to dump this thing here.
If they snow in Minnesota, what you
yeah,
say?
well, I bring in some sand. The sand can be mixed with the snow to make sure we get traction on the road. They tell me what I'm talking about. Everything is possible.
That's mixed with sand. You coming for him somebody?
Yeah, like the last guy who left Nigeria went to Liberia and made money, and all other pastors then saying Liberia can say anything God does not God cannot do does not exist. Lucifer can still be the choir director in heaven if Joe Weah can be president by Liberia. There is nothing. There is number one, there's a lack of ideology. Number two, there's a lack of focus. Number three, there's a lack of competence. We're in the CDC and the inner circle of joy we are here. I said it. There is a gross lack of competence. The gap between knowing and doing in the CDC is so vast that even if the rod that Moses used to part the Red Sea for the children of Israel, you said stay. It can't part that sea. Between what is to be known and how to govern the CDC. You know, there is absolutely no way. You saw the last time when Bio won in Sierra Leone. Terry, you remember they were on the show. The likes of Kevin Saneki and say, oh, because Bio won in Sierra Leone, therefore it was tantamount to Joe winning re-election.
Yeah.
And then they went into their room and brought all the pie chart and the Marvin men. First thing they got even higher put on no arithmetic before they can win election. And first part they get. Right? They brought pie chart and made no sense whatsoever. You are a certain government in power. I don't care if you get defeated by 1 vote. It's massive because you are the sitting government. You have access to the all of the machinery of the government, the LBS and everything. You have access to, you are using government money to fund your campaign, which is what happened in politics in Africa. And you get defeated. When you leave office, when you no longer have that cash cow, which is the government machinery, by the time you can win election, they try that thing will be just ANC. They will go from 7% to 1%. That ANC did.
So yeah.
No, I disagree with you on that.
Hold on, Mr. So we'll come to you.
Yeah.
Mr. So we'll come to you.
I see why you took your microphone from
Mr.
you.
So will come to you. Mr. So will come to you. Say, your point is quite correct. Except President Weah and his people, when they really want power, they will try to rebrand themselves. And the people you're saying that they're lacking, they will invest in the mine.
When have they shown that ability to be able to invest in people that are lacking?
Hold on 1 minute. That not tomorrow. You don't know tomorrow.
Yeah, but no, I just saying look in the past because for me, I'm a data scientist. When have they shown ever in the past that they have the ability to show that to me?
So here's the thing I'm saying. Here's the thing I'm saying.
2005. Since 2005, show me when they scored that is called CDC. Has ever shown the ability to go out and recruit people that are needed. Show me that.
Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Again, folks, if you're listening, Samson told LeBron Public Radio, I'm having a wonderful time. Hold on 1 minute, guys. Just stay tight. We want to do this here. Again, folks, that's the EJ Raw music. When we were young, Liberia was young, and we were there. But anyway, let me go back to Mr. So. Mr. So, since he is suggesting, and I'm not saying I would call it suggestion. We don't know that for sure. The CDC in the past has not been able to show any kinds of good inclination that they are good in changing narrative. The sedition, they keep saying things that are not in line with political correctness, political smartness. Why they say asking us, those of us that are predicting this thing here, why now that CDC will change their spot and becomes overnight political guru? Let's put it that way.
And that's what the game of politics is involved. I'm surprised for you to see, since I will argue here, Donald Trump can't win anything. I'm just stating a typical of what we are saying. Yes, he tasted power. Was it wisely used? Certainly not. It is now time for him to recap, reflect, and make himself more mature in the game of politics by going, like what I was saying. All he needs to do now, not necessarily school, go to nationals, meet international people, talk to people, get your surrounding, and see where you went wrong. And you can rebrand and restructure the party. The Unity Party, the Joseph Boyka, what we were talking about, see what is happening. It's the same mess. Someone who also stays there for 10 years as a vice president, we expect for this boat to sail good. What is happening? A lot of misstep is happening. It's the same way. It's all because we have a polarized and bad society that the boss stopped with the president. But what I'm saying, the possibility, if Unity Party cannot do it right, which there's no evidence that they would do it right. Considering all that is happening, no sign of leadership is being shown. Then, of course, people will begin to have this sort of saying, well, it better to go back where we were. Yeah, what we thought people said was going to happen is not happening. And that is possible. You cannot root anything off the table. George Weah, 6 years from now, if he makes himself mature and begin to have a conversation, do things that he's supposed to do, well, the other side, the election was heavily contested. It was a very narrow margin, so you can't rule it out to say, oh, it's all over. So we got to be very careful here to just close the window or doors.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me go on to Terry. Terry, let me come to you.
Yeah, Mr. So
Terry, let me come to you. And let me lay it out, then you can step in and pick up from that. You've been arguing before Mr. So and Sister join in. You've been arguing that there's no way President Weah and his people will come back. President Weah will not succeed. There's been an argument tonight. Now that Mr. So has laid this out, and since they also lay his own out, where do you stand?
Yeah, I stand with Sese for several reasons. One, the indicators of the past. We are not seeing President Weah trying to rebrand the party. And I told you guys that if President Weah can rebrand that party and change his message, his political message, things might change for the party politically. But Mr. So brought a fine analysis. But will he take that? For Nati Kofa now, his political battle is gaining momentum for him. It's gaining political sympathy. Those are the kind of weapons that people can use to fight in political elections. All right, it can build up. So what are they going to do with it? With all this sentiment that Ponanti Kofa is gaining, people getting to know him after this battle, whether he wins or lose, what will CDC use? What will they do with this? What Ponanti have gathered from this
political capital.
Yeah, so you have to be able to maneuver. Like we say, Ma Ellen was a Ronaldinho, of the political landscape. And that's why Joseph Boca is president today. He ride on her legacy to make him to become president. So President Weah, can he rebrand the party? Take, for example, you still get the likes of Jefferson Koji there hanging around all over the place. You got the likes of Samuel Twe then coming, walking, boasting, and things. And knowing that they are with sanction, I thought President Weah would have said, you know what, let us try to let these people resign, first of all, from the party. Jefferson Koji been holding the secretary position for 20, 30 years or more. I'm just kidding. But he been holding that secretary position for a very long time. That scenario, Mr. So is very clear.
Youth secretary, not the real secretary.
What? President Weah could say, according to the CDC constitution, the standard bearer can only run twice. So I can give my standard bearership and become vice standard bearer, and Fonati can go as standard bearer. I don't think that ticket will be able to stand or lose. I don't know. It's possible, but it depends on how they rebrand the party.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. So, we'll come to you. Mr. So, we'll come to you.
Yeah. You're gonna hold is CDC that kind of party, first of all, that can spend money on herself? No. We're in the next 2 years, those boys will be broke.
Okay.
All right. And every one of them will be depending on.
Thank you, Terry.
We're hearing how they gave Jefferson Koji money to hush money. And how he back off on the whole for nothing fight and things. So, yeah.
Thank you. We're hearing from you that CDC, you're suggesting that CDC is a mean political party on themselves. Let me come to you, Dr. Tutu. You heard all three sides right now. Where do you stand? And then we can move on to the next subject matter.
Liberal, I disagree with one thing or there, unless or two or there. Tonight, says Terry. Looking at the political spectrum in Liberia, and looking at the people, the caliber of voter, I hate to be negative on the decision of people made to battle back to Liberia, but it is a huge factor that decide who is elected in Liberia. And I don't want to say to that to be like I want to see president. We are presidency, and I don't want to see President we are presidency in 2029. But if the Unity Party does not do any kind of good reform and try to change the curve, we may likely see President we are presidency or CDC presidency in 2029, because there are so many indicators that will determine whether to be elected. If the government, when it comes to the social economic status of the people, if the people cannot get a basic, you talk about health care, you talk about some of the political capital. If the Unity Party government cannot deliver on the promises that they made to the people, look at it. I don't know whether you guys are taking some time to go through the current budget right now. The 2025 budget is submitted. If you go through that budget is so horrible. It's so many somebody instances that
president budget, what did the president say?
Seriously, so I don't know. Our thinking, I say, whether our governor
look at that. Still better than the CDC budget, though. Still better than the CDC budget.
Well, guys, let's do one at a time. Let's do one at a time, please. Let's do one at a time, Dr. Tulu.
Look at the comparison, the 2024 budget, the CDC budget to the budget here. Look at the comparison. Look at the direct indicator.
I did, and it's still better than the CDC budget. I did.
No, it will be not better at all. It is not.
Okay, so let him finish.
Yeah, it is not far better, because this rescue mission, what they preach out there and what reflecting that budget will be, as totally just somebody figure that they put in that budget. For example, the national team we're talking about, we cry on President we have for that support the national team. They post 150K for budget, you can cut it down to 50, and you want for the national to be successful. There are so many indicators who are decided to see whether governor look at that budget thoroughly, or people just throw number into they just look at the Senate and send it to the House. Okay. But it left for the House now and the Senate to do their due diligence to make some necessary correction to reflect that budget. But for what we see right now, let me just lay on it of 10 seconds. Right. For what we see right now, if at all the rescue mission don't try to or change some of the curve, or what we see, it may not look good for them.
Let me come to you. Say, Dr. Toto is saying, and that's what I also was suggesting earlier. If the current trend of this debacle from Unity Party, and in fact, that is if you agree with the assertion that I'm saying that what their trend is going downhill, if you agree with that, if it continues like this, don't you think that Liberians would then look at President Weah, because he's still popular, will look at President Weah and whoever is in the ring with him to say, we will look at you for the second term?
Absolutely not. Here's the first thing that Dr. Toto needs to understand. The Unity Party ran on an arrest agenda. Look at all of the key indicators in the arrest agenda. You look at the budget; they all were increased. Sports was not part of what they ran on. So President Weah can take that one and go play free time ball in your backyard. That was not what they didn't promise the people anything on soccer. You gotta look at the key indicators. That's what they ran on the arrest agenda. So look at what they funded in their arrest. I don't see sports in there. I don't see keyboard and Nafo and Perepa in there. That was not what the people ran on. Right? The man who was playing football in the middle of town was the one that ran on that piece. So the other piece, and I know Mr. So's trying to slide this in about the Donald Trump piece. What Mr. So is not trying to show out here was being sneaky is that you cannot compare the Donald Trump situation with the Joe West situation, because you have a political party. You have a political party that was consistent. You don't have a court that is the CDC. As a matter of fact, the Congress have never won any presidential election. It was the coalition that won an election. And ever since the coalition won an election, they lost every election they contested in except for the one with Tilia Ure. So you can see a pattern going. So when you talk about popularity, look at the CDC. The CDC will tell people, say, we will suspend some of y'all, and they will say, y'all suspend, oh, we don't care. We will come back whenever we want to come back, and we can show the CDC with power, the CDC that people used to print their T-shirts for. Is this the CDC we're talking about? This is a naturally dying phenomenon in Liberia. And I will tell you this, the Liberian people will not be a ping pong where, oh, we saw Joe, we are since 2005, he lost so many elections, but he won one time, he released so many albums, he became a pastor, so we'll go back to him because the deacon is not preaching properly. That is not going to happen. It is not going to happen in Liberia.
All right.
Because the CDC has shown us that they do not have the ability or the skill set to be able to reform and be able to revamp themselves. I'm looking at data since 2005. You cannot show me where they've ever done that.
Okay. Thank you. We will, Mr. So, we'll come to you, but with a different subject matter. Let's drop the CDC, Judge. We are going to be, Judge. We are not going to be.
You can't restrict my talking point. I
Mr.
don't
So,
know. You
Mr.
never
So,
introduced.
Mr.
No.
So,
Don't tell me
Mr.
that
So, Mr. So, I'm running the show. I'm
Yeah, but
running the
you're
show.
not running my
No,
thoughts.
but hold on, Mr. So. You
Don't tell
are
me
a
that you
journalist.
got
Mr.
this.
So, will you please let me do my thing here? I'm getting paid to do a job. So please, unless you want to find a majority block to try to unseat me, then you
Of
can
course, if
go
you're
ahead.
not-
You can go ahead.
You started it. We can end it right here.
Who paying the man?
Mr. Presiding.
I will pay the majority black.
Yeah, if you want to establish your
Very first time. Very first time. in the history
DJ
of
Blue.
our
We gotta see DJ. I don't know it's DJ Sasha or what.
So let me come to you.
Zigizag.
Let me come to you, Mr. So. We heard the Supreme Court most likely will hear the case tomorrow that Flanty Kofa has filed. We also heard that perhaps there were some lawyers that are involved in this Supreme Court issues. What do you think will be some of the argument tomorrow? And to leap further than that, what you think would be what would be your prediction of what the ruling going to be from the Supreme Court? That is, if you want to put yourself on the line for that.
Well, you have to preempt what they're going to do, but I mean, common sense. And yeah, one of the messages I got from one of the lawmakers, he said the atmosphere seems to have shifted a bit. Let us wait and see the ruling going to bring this morning, actually, because it's already in the morning. But from our indication, what we are saying, we are in a better shape. The Supreme Court is not going to act on, these people that went wrong on so many fronts. And what the federal, yes, you have the executive, you have the judiciary, and you have the legislature. Yeah, that makes the law, but the people that interprets the law, the functions of the law, where if there's any violation, it is these people, they do it to the extent that they exceeded, they went overboard, removing speaker, putting committee in place, and all of those kind of things. That was just too much. So the Supreme Court going to look at the judiciary aspect as to whether somebody's rights were violated. That's what they're going to look at. They're not going to feel, because they're not going to look at number. There's nothing they call majority black, majority. You get a two-tier, you get a vote. What we're seeing being happening here from time to time, take it, and that's where our politicians lack the political tolerance, their inability to persuade and make an arguable case. That's one of the things they did. All they should have done was, hey, that numbers are growing. Forget about this sort of showcasing yourself every day for TV car, Spoon TV car, Co-Spoon TV car. Oh, we get a number, woo, then again, and just create a sort of this complete distraction. They didn't do it. And they just hurriedly start getting things done with the whole back, over moving. So now, since they mixed the law and they were unable to keep up with that law, it's completely out of their hand. And this is where Fanatic Kofa plays smart with them. That's a different with a person who not know, and the one who knows how, and the one that knows better. Because Fanatic Kofa, more or less, you find he been talking other thing here. He's not been too resistant of that the people, why people want to remove him. He was just only basically arguing on the side of the law, give him a due process. And we all know a due process, somebody can just come here today say, this is your role. In fact, we saw that. We saw what played out here. My Gates, in as much he was a Highlander, That intro-party thing came about. What he did, he introduced it. What did they do? They called all of the people. They were able to get all of their sides, and people voted. That's what I believe. This is where the Supreme Court going to be going.
Thank you.
Interestingly, now the legislature, they make the laws, they make it, but they do not interpret it. The executive enforces the law. So now the interesting thing now, when the Supreme Court hands down her decision tomorrow,
we'll come to that. Don't try to preempt my talking point, please. We'll come to that. We'll come down to that. I ask a specific question. Thank you, Mr. So. Thank you, Mr. So. Thank you, Mr. So. Terry, let me come. Thank you, Mr. So. Thank you, Mr. So. Terry, let me come to you. Let me come to you on this one.
I think that they have you wearing out, making the men to sanction you today, and I had.
Oh, I should take it out?
You take it out. I was still sanctioning you anyway.
Okay.
Let me come to you, Terry. Let me come to you. The Supreme Court, and you've been arguing here that the Supreme Court do not have the right to put a startup core entity on the lawmaker. You argue that. I read it, but that was for the United States government, United States Supreme Court. However, it could be applied to Liberia too. So I'm not arguing that. Now, the Supreme Court asked these people to do X, Y, and Z. And today, we saw them saying they're having their section. Do you think the Supreme Court justices themselves, looking at it up front, looking at them coming and disobeying and making themselves feel like they have no respect for the Supreme Court? Do you think that will boost their case tomorrow during the argument, that the Supreme Court perhaps might say, yes, these people, or look at them differently?
Well, it happened from both sides. So, because Yeke Koluba, I don't know if you saw the interview with Yeke Koluba. Yeke Koluba even threatened the president that he will go for the president, and they will drag him from in the mansion if the Supreme Court rule. And
Terry, Yeke Koluba is not the same as a majority black, as you call it. So believe Yeke Koluba.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that he's on the minority side. So if you're trying to say that because of the statement,
majority black, they want to have a section.
I know,
in the name of the lawmakers.
Yeah, but they did not disrespect. They said
the chief justice said status quo entity. That means go
but
back.
What is status quo entity?
Huh?
Did she tell you what is status quo entity? Did they say?
We know what that is. If we read it, we know.
But the thing here is that, like I said, they don't have the right. I look up on
not Liberian law, not Liberian constitution.
Yeah, per the Constitution of Liberia, they can issue the writ of mandamus on a branch per the Constitution of Liberia. But I don't want to go.
Okay, go ahead. So the question I'm asking, don't compare what's the name, Yeke Koluba to these. These are people who also Yeke Koluba does not have his own speaker. Yeke Koluba is not somebody to say I have my own block. Yeke Koluba is a supporter. I'm talking about the group themselves who have already elected a speaker, and they decide to have a section today. Would the Supreme Court frown on them? That's the question.
F419 filed a lawsuit against them previously to one justice, and they filed the same prohibition, and they
Terry, why are you suing me out of this thing here?
I'm trying to say,
question. No, but you're not getting that. Let's try it again.
It's not a yes or no question.
No, I'm acting like Mr. So now. I'm just acting like you, so you should enjoy me. You ask me a question, you want to answer the way you. Terry, the question I'm asking you is this: the Supreme Court put whatever order they put out there, and these people decided that they're going to, with all that was out there, they decided they're going to have a section. The question I'm asking you: would the Supreme Court look at them when they go argue tomorrow and hold that against them?
Well, I think it can make anybody angry, but the Supreme Court is going to determine they're going to issue on them on the basis of the law. because this is a whole entire branch
right,
of
go ahead,
government.
make your point.
But what
Go
I
ahead,
wanted
make-
to say something before
Go
I
ahead.
go, the indicators, right, that President Walker will have laid out will be so severe that will not make President Weah come back. And let me just say this. There are $50 million in the budget for roads. If those things happen, all the roads open up and is maintained. There are also a plan for, I think, 90 kilowatts or so power plant that will be completed by next year, this time. If those two things happen in Liberia, CDC is finished.
I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, that just it. That is why I believe that this government, they will steal. There will be stealing, like every other government. But there are some things that I believe that this government will do that will change the narrative. It may not change the narrative for all the political aspirants, because Liberia got vast people, political aspirant, like Mr. Cummings could rise, that Tewon Gonglo could rise, or we see the likes of Fonati Kofana. Things could shift greatly in the political realm, because, like what Sissy said, CDC is a dying political party.
Mr.
Liberians are seeing them.
Terry, just hold on 1 minute. Mr. Clarence David, you and myself will split tonight. You know that. So please don't ask me a question again. Go ahead, Terry.
Now finish.
Okay. All right. Let me come to Sissy. Sissy, and this one, I want you to give me some from your own political perspective, and what you know about politics, law, and whatever it is. Where you think the Supreme Court is leading from your own perspective and data, whatever you want to, whatever information that you can throw out here. Where you think these people are leading?
Well, the first thing is this is not going to be the solution to this problem is not going to be legal. It's going to be political.
Okay.
Return to status quo ante did not mean that these people can't meet. They're returning to the previously existing affairs. So the Supreme Court cannot determine if a group of legislators get together, whether it's called a meeting. The only thing there is whatever decision they take there is not binding, because legally the Supreme Court has said return to the previously existing conditions, which was before they elected their speaker. Because before then, Fonati had gone to court and his team had gone to court. And then when they elected the speaker, they went back to court, and that's when the status quo ante came out. The good thing is that both sides have said that they are willing to go to the courts. Both sides have recognized the authority of the court to interpret whatever laws they wrote. So that is not even in contention. There's no side saying that they will not go to the court and the court does not have jurisdiction. They're all going to the court. So that's a good thing for our democracy. But the Supreme Court can only say that the process was wrong to remove Fonati Kofa or to elect Kun. The Supreme Court cannot install the leader of a group.
Right.
So remember, in the case of Tyler, the Supreme Court ruled in favor, but Tyler did not have the numbers. And so you can have a win, but you still lose the war. You can win that battle tomorrow, and you still lose the war if you don't have enough people to gather into section. So I think for me, people are looking at this thing as a legal solution. No, it's not going to be solved legally. It's going to be solved politically. And that is where I come back to my earlier point about the CDC. If the CDC is serious that this is an orchestration of the Unity Party, if the CDC just pull all their members on the other side to show political cohesion, political maturity, and political relevance, there's one thing finished. Thomas Farah behaved like he was one of the three wise men that went to see the newborn king of the Jews. He went, he saw the newborn king of the Jews, he didn't go back. And they didn't go back, nobody. He stayed there. So the problem here is that are they able to pull all those people back? And I want to give them credit that today what I saw, the lack of Thomas Farah being over there and not giving any excuse, for me, it's showing some seriousness on the part of the CDC. And this is where we'll be able to judge the strength of the ability of George Weah to come back. Not that he will win, but the ability to come back and be a formidable comeback is how he's able to wrangle or to be able to cajole his members that are in the House to come back, to return to base. Because if they able to do that, is they keep their speakership. But if they don't do that, then stuff is going to go ahead to. Let me tell you this in Liberian politics. Nobody has a political allegiance to a political party. You dismiss those people, you suspend them to go join the political party. The very next day, there'll be a press conference of this standing for some kind of political party and declaring their allegiance. So for me, I think I'm waiting to hear what the argument is going to be. I cannot preempt what the Supreme Court is going to say. But I think that for us, it's a good thing, our democracy, that both sides have agreed and they have recognized the role of the Supreme Court in interpreting the rules and the laws that they have made. Now, is that going to solve the problem? Absolutely not. This problem requires a political solution. And this is what a political leader has to say.
Thank you. Let me come to you, Doc. And Mr. So just briefly touched on that at the very end. What happened tomorrow when the Supreme Court ruled and it's not in favor of the majority bloc? And they say we will not abide by that.
Like what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So the majority bloc said, well, we are a different branch of government. We will not allow another branch of government to tell us what to do. What will be, or what should be the specific action from the executive, the third branch, in this dialogue?
I mean, we are all advocating for the rule of law. If the Supreme Court rule tomorrow, whether in favor of the majority black or the minority black, the executive have to respect the decision of the court. But what's going to happen is that it's going to end politically. That's what I was saying, because even if the Supreme Court rule in favor of the Kofa black not going to go back to that. They are not going to go back to that or chairmanship no more again, because they say majority black will result back and say they're going to sit on the gravel of the speaker. Even if they don't have the number, it's going to be dragging. So there were majority going to come in now to tell Kofa, hey, you just have to reserve, even though you won the case in the court, but you don't have the majority to work with, like happening in the case of Snow and Tyler. I think that's what's going to happen. And also too, the Supreme Court, if the Supreme Court rules tomorrow, the Supreme Court should be very simple in plain English. Let them forget about all the ambiguity to when people live from people be scratching their hair or what are the way or the laws or that. Because there's a critical issue in the country. Let them come with simple, plain English and say, hey, minority black, you are sitting with illegal, and the speaker will remove illegally. Or tell the speaker, you are giving due process by your colleague, and your colleague remove you legally. So let it come in plain English and be able to tell the Liberian people, instead of coming with some of the integrity, legal term, when people live from that, they be scratching their hair, they don't know who we or who lost. That's what I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. So, let's come back to you now. Same question to you. Do you think the executive has it within them to uphold the whatever ruling based on Constitution, ruling that will be coming from the Supreme Court if it goes against the minority Richard Cohn bloc?
Well, then this is what we're going to see, that the government is, then we will get to know as to whether the government enforces law and order. Now, they have their part. It is the responsibility of the government to exercise administrative power, and part of that is to follow the law. Now, the Supreme Court, their job, like Sister said, they're not going to force people to do it. They just want to say, okay, my man, the way you did it here, that's not the correct way you do it. So all we can say, go do it the right way. So when something is not done the right way, it is incumbent upon the administration now to make sure that it's done the right way. And so this is where you're going to put the administration on edge, depending on the outcome of the Supreme Court. Because when the Supreme Court says installing this guy, Richard Cohn, the guy who put his left hand out like you were going so much hurrying to do this. You're not doing it quick before somebody come in there belly and disrupt us.
Okay.
You know, look, you see, Ghana like ugly thing. They know what they are doing, and that's the only thing that is hard. Now, this is where the leadership, if the president has never addressed anything before, take this from me. If he has never addressed anything before, like we all been talking here, based on the outcomes of the Supreme Court tomorrow, the executive going to use her real executive power because they would not want to through their own judicial system, which is a separate branch of government under the boss. Because if you did that, then you're creating some future potential problem for your own very administration. Joseph Boyka and President Boyka is too smart to do that. So all the screaming we've been doing, let the president do that, let the president do that. Well, he's a political guy, so he was just looking at the wavelength. He doesn't want to hurt his base. He doesn't want to do this because they were doing it. But now it has gone before another branch of government that is responsible to interpret the law. The law. So the way they will interpret it, you can't come back, the president can't come back to say, no, you're not interpreting it the right way. Then you undercut the functions of the judiciary. So it will be interesting. We're going to hold our breath. But these messages that we've been getting from some of these people, I think there seems to be some sort of twist. If they don't even come out tomorrow, I believe there will be some really good legal or some sort of argument. Maybe eventually they might hear from both sides if they want to open it up to the Liberian people, hear both sides, because we hear a lot of things. The initial intent of this whole thing, how it transitioned from one thing to another thing, and the next thing we saw somebody put in their left hand or say, yes, I do. Fala say, I'm not running, say, I'm not running, nobody else running, and you didn't even put it on the floor. But there was a guy there who was raising a contention. The guy who they called, one of the lawmakers who the call should have gone to them, and he said, what, something he was sick or something, he didn't go. He put a hand up. And Coca was there trying to shut him down. So something is still not done in this whole thing. And I believe because of all of this, the president, the administration knew it was going to reach to this fire. And that's why he paused and he was waiting. As soon as the law is properly interpreted, trust me, the president will move in that direction.
So let me come to you, Terry, on the same question here. And then I'll open the line up. Let me come to you. What do you think what will be your prediction that if the law goes against the majority black, you think the president will argue and the executive will argue like you've been arguing that the executive, judiciary have no business into the affair of the lawmaker, and therefore they will want to still deal with them, or you think that the executive will uphold the court ruling if it goes against the majority black?
Well, I doubt the executive will uphold it from what we've seen and what we saw in the past. The executive got so many excuses. They can say they're not supposed to interfere. And things have already gone the way the executive they wanted it. The only thing I see is that the Richard Kuhn, I think that is where, because from what I observed today, there is a balling going on in the majority black. There are some people that are not happy with Richard Kuhn coming in a swift way to take over, and I think it's going to cause a problem. In my view, they acted very unprofessional. You already moved the speaker. You should have make it to look professional, saying you are already blunder. And what they should have done was they should have given the 60-day open notice to allow the minority, because there were some people like the likes of Musa Ability and other guys from the majority black that was just waiting to contest. All right. But the way they did it now, everybody saw it like everybody saw that it was fake, that it was not authentic. You understand? They rushed with it. It was too fast, you know. So
just hold on. We got 60 to go, then we'll come to you, please.
Because of that, there's a possibility that if they don't control what is going on in the midst of them, they might maintain the number that they have, and maybe the speaker may say, okay, Noah, I will resign. But Richard Kuhn, there will be another coup.
Thank you.
There might be another coup to remove Richard Kuhn, and they might remove him faster than even for Nati Kofa.
Thank you. Thank you. Sissy, let's come to you. With that in mind, do you think that the executive will be on a good side of the law to enforce if the law goes against, if the Supreme Court goes against the majority bloc, or you think the executive will say, well, we don't, you guys shouldn't be part of this, and so we will not enforce that rule.
I will talk slowly so the Wi-Fi that Keto using from across no star can go off. The people ain't get no more, they ain't get no party here no more. So I don't know where our server is. I will talk slowly. so
Yeah, you.
I know but on a serious note, I think if the ruling of the Supreme Court, like Dr. Tutu was trying to say, does not allow for wiggle room, does not allow for ambiguity or gray spots, I think that the executive will be caught tight spot. Because now you are caught with trying to enforce, which is your constitutional authority, the interpretation of the other branch of government, or just willingly and without any regard saying, no, we're not going to do it. And then that shows you out not only to your Liberian people as you not being in support of implementing and carrying out the constitution that you swore due allegiance to, but it shows to the rest of the international partners that your oath was in vain. So I will hope that Her Honor you and her group can do the Liberian people a favor and write this thing in a way that doesn't allow for wiggle room. Because here's the problem: when the budget was delivered to the chief clerk and the deputy chief clerk, there is a wiggle room that the executive use, because usually those things are sent to the chief clerk and the clerk conference, not to the speaker. And they can send it there, and then people can pull things in the background and say where you go, because the constitution does not say who gets the budget. Right? And so I'm hoping that they don't create that wiggle room. Because now Babu got the Divacola. We want, the person sing a song and say, we want to know who owns Papa's land. We will know who owns the land. Whether the executive will follow the ruling of the judiciary without any wiggle rooms and enforce the ruling of the judiciary, or they will show their hands. And we always see that the monkey get blind here at this point. But until that thing, we get guessing. So I'm really hoping that ruling, like Dr. Toto says, will be succinct and will be clear, and then we'll wait and see what the executive does. And it will be my hope that they go on the side of the Constitution. It will be in the interest of the Republic to uphold the Constitution, even if the ruling is against them or their interest.
All right, let me take Walter Carter. Walter Carter, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Are you been listening to your colleagues here? What is on your mind?
Yeah, thank you. The last topic my brother Sissy was alluding to, and a couple of conversation you guys had previously. Well, first of all, I'd like to say hi to all of the folks watching and listening, and also to the panelists here. So that's the thing, right? Terry and my own mathematician brother, they're dancing around this whole CDC coming back to power and not coming, and what they are forgetting.
It's the total made a topic that the Supreme Court. Let me stay on the topic.
Where the people,
he's on it.
The people can be swayed by whatever you throw to them.
That topic when he had.
Now, this mission came to rescue. Instead of rescuing the people, they are rescuing themselves. So there's a guy who posted on Mo Ali video showing the pool or Unity Party had that Unity Party partisan. He said to Mo Ali, we all struggle for the mission, the government, and some we ain't got nothing to do. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the common people. You think what you guys doing is good. And Mo Ali insulted the guy on the post, in a post that he wrote. He told the guy, do I care? Do I give a damn about how you suffering or you not suffering? That will not enjoy my life. So these things will resonate among even people who are disenchanted right now with the way the Unity Party government going, even though they support the Unity Party government. They will give sympathy to see how Liberian politics is. One party not showing interest to the people that brought in, what they will do, they will deflect and go there. We've been seeing it from time memorial. And don't forget, President Weah is not like the other politician that gotta go begging for support. This man is well liked among Liberian people. The only thing Liberian people are saying, somebody put a guy around, he ain't doing the job. And as some of them, and because of that, some of them start deflecting and doing things. But this man is still well liked. Secondly, Sister made a very striking point. What I know, this whole thing gonna go the side of Fanatic Kofa, the ruling and all that. But this the catch, right? Fanatic Kofa still has if they go in favor of Fanatic Kofa, and Fanatic Kofa gets some other people coming back from the so-called majority group that gain their senses now. They say we're going back home. Just a few of them. What he can do is he can invoke their own law.
Okay.
Or their rules in the house.
Thank you.
If those people who are there do not come to section, they can declare that the seat.
Thank you, Attorney Martin Sedition. Thank you very much. We appreciate your defense of the CDC tonight.
God, it's self-made. It's self-made celebrity quality.
Self-made. Okay. Now, okay. Thank you, Walter. Thank you, Walter. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We're gonna leave out of here on time tonight. Since the first to go, let's hear from you on your closing.
Oh no, I think for me the biggest point here, I think all the other things about.
Let me push. I would say push. Let me ask this of you here. You think if the ruling goes against these people and the Supreme Court, you cannot appeal? The show over. I took it. I'm taking it. Okay, let me take this one caller, please. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name? Where you're calling from? Please make it brief.
Evening, Mr. Todd.
You must say we agree on anything tonight, Clarence. So just talk to my Chinese phone ready for you too.
No, the Chinese phone shouldn't get ready for me because I'm not going contrary from your view.
Okay.
What getting me annoyed tonight is even if Fanatic Kofa do resign tomorrow, for you to talk about Musa ability will be the potential speaker. That means we all in a position of supporting criminals in our country.
Yeah, but who do you have in mind? He's already elected by your brothers and sisters.
No, I'm not saying that.
I understand that, but the point is he's already elected. He's in the House of Representatives. So we out here don't have a choice. We don't have a say in it. So if he's elected by his people to be speaker, then what do we say?
No, Mr. Toh, listen. What I'm trying to say is this. Nigerian, we are good at electing criminal. Musa ability, you saw how Musa ability do giving his best to our people. How you do the FIFA. So if we are talking about Fanatic Kofa leaving the position, and you bring him down, that was getting me annoyed tonight.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I come here, Mr. Toh, please.
Go ahead.
1 minute. The second thing I want to say here, with all the irregularities that are going through the United Party government, what you said tonight that we are coming by, to me, it is possible. Because I have not seen no other ruling party that will win an election and get their opposition placed in the key position. Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Justice, ambassador to US or to UN. Key position that the parties in, people that have parties in that you are going to them, you give it to opposition. So what do we expect? So you know, it's playing the way for we are. Look, you saw the freedom when we are appear real life. How can we deny this thing? Mm-hmm. It is possible. Don't be afraid to say. They say when your TB ugly, you can still like it. You know, there are a lot of irregularities that happen.
You say when your what will ugly?
When your tea is ugly, you can still make your tea. That doesn't mean
Okay, they want to have that beyond me. Go ahead.
We should make this correction that the today or tomorrow the government will listen, because sometimes official the government listen to this discussion. So when we say all the good thing about the government and the bad thing are happening, we are not telling them we are not being doing good for the government. Don't be afraid to say it. Okay. We are paving the way for citizens gradually. Don't be afraid to say it.
But Clarence, let me ask you this: will you prefer us not talk about the bad things that is happening in the government because we don't want CDC to come by? Is that what you?
What I'm saying it's good for us to talk about all the bad things that are happening, because if we not flag this thing out, the people will see that we are doing a lot of good things.
Okay, all right. Oh, now I understand it. Okay.
Don't keep their feet on the fire because they keep the rescue up. That ain't what we said. So we would keep the rescue now. We not change the looter. Let's say the truth.
Okay, thank you.
Every day that there'll be a new problem in the government.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Just tell not to know, okay?
So, Sissy, I was going to ask you a question, and this question it goes like this here: the Supreme Court rule against these people tomorrow, or whatever time, but the Supreme Court ruling cannot be appealed. Can these people find some sort of a legal means within the Constitution that they themselves can also go to the court and say they Flanty Kofa and his people are violating our right to unseat him? And they find some sort of will the court be willing to listen to them if they complain that the Constitution is also being violated by Flanty Kofa and his people?
Well, I don't think it will be on the same merit. They can fire anytime they got a suit, they can fire and go, but it can't be on the same merit that the court has just ruled on. So there has to be other things that changes the case from what Flanty Kofa and his team has said. Look, let me say something.
That would be your closing now.
Yes. Sometimes our feelings are just our feelings. It doesn't make them facts. And I know we struggle with any liberal community between statistics, actual data that exist, and what we feel. The last time a single political party won the presidential election in Liberia was the National Patriotic Party. Before then was the NDPL. Everything after that has been a coalition. Ellen Johnson said the United Party had to morph, had to bring in the Liberal Action Party and other people to win an election. George Weah tried it with the Congress so many times they could not win. It had to be a coalition. Joseph Walker tried it with the United Party. George Weah beat him massively in 2017. They had to do a coalition to win this election that brought President Walker to power. So for people to complain that to have Sarah Bessel, who campaigned in round 2 and endorsed this to be an opposition, when you form a coalition, sometimes people don't understand what the difference between an opposition and a coalition. People forget that. My brother and my bearded brother yesterday or today was being confirmed to go to Japan. The man who came in 3rd place, my AR brother, the man was a part of the coalition. Right? So people have to understand that. To say that because the people are not part of the United Party could not win the election. They didn't win round 1. They needed people to push them over the finishing line. And those people that pushed them over the finishing line, they had to be deals signed. So sometimes we got to understand that. And I think Liberian people need to understand that. This whole thing about we won an election, so you got opposition in power. Who is the opposition? How do you know that Louis Brown there and the likes were not supporting this government, this party, against Alexander Cummings?
I know.
So we just got to get the facts straight. But it was nice listening to you all. Good night. I'll still be here and listen to the rest of the group.
Papi, we're not hearing you. Oh, where you going now?
Oh, Mr. Soda, how you doing?
No, I took myself. I'm sorry, I took myself up. So say,
What too?
listen to this. Anyone, they said, always disappear on this platform when he doesn't have a talking point because things might go his way tomorrow. He's here to bluff.
Let me eat my show, man. Allow me to eat my show.
Okay, all right. Let's go with Mr. Collins. Go ahead, give us your closing, Dr. Toto. Then take us
Yeah,
home.
thank you, Mr. So, you know what amazed me about the seditions is that when they were in power, when we were telling them that all the Baba thing you're doing, they're not good, they were not seeing it, they were not hearing. Everything President Weah did, it was fine. Now they have left power now. They seeing thing what they were doing, the tabata they were doing were not correct. They getting vexed, it making them vexed, and I like to see them getting vexed. Joseph Boga doing the same thing almost, then they getting vexed. So we're telling them now that the same thing Joseph Boga government doing now, some of it now or now, but that the same thing you used to do that we used to tell you about, that you said John Weah was doing the right thing. And these are the same people coming by and saying they want John Weah back. So it tells you that the advocacy for a better Liberia is not real, it's hypocritical. Now, to the issue of tomorrow, I suspect that the court is, because there are indicators that have shown that the court is going to side with Honorable Fonati Kufa. All right. But on what basis they're going to side with him? That is what I'm going to be watching for. All right. Are they going to side with him in telling the majority black that they need to go back and sit under his gavel? Or are they going to side with him telling the majority black that the removal of Kun, that the installment of Richard Kun was not done properly, or that the whole entire thing was against the Constitution? That is what I'm going to be watching to hear, because they have to rule in a way that, they have to either take one and lose one, or give Fonati Kofa all. And I doubt they will give Fonati Kofa all, because they will try to balance the equation so that everybody can get a share. And with that being said, they will balance the country. But if they decide to go one way, it might likely plunge us again into a stalemate that could hinder the country from moving forward. And that is the reason why I don't think that the government is going to flow with them. Labor asked Sissy something about, whether if some kind of question you ask, but what I wanted to say to that is that if Fonati, if to say they were in the chambers where Fonati Kofa were presiding, then they could have wherein Fonati said, I'm not going to preside. I'm not going to remove, I'm not going to recuse myself. And then they break off and went and form their own group. Then they have a point. But again, they can argue and say, we came to lay our petition and you locked the door. So we got afraid. So there are so many cases. So I think in one instant here, the court will have to give each of these guys something. And that is what I'm going to be hoping to see or to hear tomorrow. Thank you, Liver.
Thank you.
One thing real quick that I forgot, and it's just a sentence: the State of the Nation address is upcoming. This has to be resolved, or else it will be a serious mess.
Right.
When the president shows up to give this to the
Constitutional mess.
January, right around the corner.
Thank you. Dr. Toto, go ahead.
Yes.
And Mr. So can take us home.
The president bypassed and went to the clerk that maybe the clerk will organize the State of the Union also to because it was.
Yeah, Toto is on the answer.
I see why the dark glasses open.
We got Israeli all over there on the platform.
Yeah, everywhere.
Israeli, you do it to me, I do it to you.
Yeah. But anyway, but to borrow for me, I think the Supreme Court would lead on that Fonati Kofa should be given a due process. And that due process will entail that they go back and give Fonati the process to recuse himself or whatever, commit administrator to prove it. But that's what the court will rule on. But again, I said, I want for the court to come in plain, simple English tomorrow. Let the people understand. They shouldn't create all the legal terminology to confuse the people tomorrow again. You know, and then good discussion on the issue of CDC. Me, I'm a strong LPP man. Somebody will join coalition to support the Unity Party. And we still believe in the presidency of Joseph Boyka. We just
The
hope,
LPP that Gonglo, right?
yeah,
They said Gonglo was not allowed to participate in a discussion this evening. I mean, this
yeah,
day.
yeah. That's why I learned. You
In
know,
what discussion?
Supreme Court.
the Supreme Court
Yeah, but the
decision.
man got no fish to Friday. What you go there for?
You know,
No, I thought the people have a name on there as one of the defense lawyer.
yeah,
Petitioner lawyer or something like that.
you know.
No,
I didn't really follow the story.
it's
I
not
just
on the
hear-
list. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Right.
He just carry the broom there to go sweep. That all.
yeah. So we want
Right, Doc.
the best for the government. And some of the indicators that we see so far, if they don't try to change the curve, it will be so difficult for them to succeed. But we still believe in the government, and there's a good show tonight. Despite all the tabata tonight, but I think it's a good show tonight. I think we really put the message out there for the people to understand what we try to portray out there. We just want the best for Nigeria, you know.
Thank you, Doc. My son is in Pittsburgh now, so I will be in Pittsburgh sometime next year. But thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, when
But
I get there,
that-
so
that's
definitely
easier.
we'll call you right away when we get in town.
Yeah, but try to connect. He will be before you come.
Okay, all right, I'll do so. Do so. Go ahead, Mr. So. Give us your closing.
Look, all these sort of Sasewu trial just started where I came here, decided to change it, and that's why he terrorist still Reverend Terry wants to bring her here. They could do it, but the executive will not go. What are you talking about? Why would the government? Why are you? So you guys don't love this government. You profess to be. Which party are you for?
Talk your own.
Government,
Talk your own. Yeah.
Papa, what a problem?
Okay,
Look,
talk.
the court's judgment are based on relevant interpretations of the laws, not your perception or Terry with feedback, Samson told with feedback. So we'll do it this way and we'll leave it hanging. So they put no, that's not what the court is for. The judgments of courts decisions are crystal clear. They tell you to point out where there's a violation, especially when it comes to people's rights, civil liberties, the process, the law. I mean, they just interpret it. And exactly, they don't want to tell these people, they make the laws, but they do not have the ability, they do not have the authority to interpret the law. All what they have been doing is self-interpretation because of political purposes. That's what they've been doing.
Let's read this one. There are 2 minute lights in Toto house. He's wearing glasses, but there's no light at the Capitol building tonight.
These guys,
Please donate some of your life to the Capitol.
yeah. So bottom line here, the Supreme Court going to be clear cut. And again, this is where I'm hoping the president will show his experience, his judgment, his leadership, because there's no way that when the Supreme Court's decision is enough to come and honor court his own government, he would never want to do that. If it was not done right, it means it was not done. The Supreme Court is not saying you don't have the right. Of course, you have, but go and have the process. Let a person go through the process. And we all know what the process is. So Terry, I categorically reject what you are saying. It's another gula type of way of doing things, and that's what you guys are trying to do here. So tonight I let you go. Dr. Toto, all of them wear his dark shades like Rick Charles here this evening.
You let
I don't know you think that we're not going to recognize it. That's what happens when people, when they talk about it, promote when the girl come to them, then they wear that shit. So where people can see it. You saw say he coming in, put on a call barrow sweater. I don't know you think that Mike Tyson. I don't know you think you want to come. Gentlemen, watch out.
Jake
They're going to be a bizarre 2029. They're going to be a bizarre political twist. Remember, in the last days of George Weah, to get this whole thing here, it was Fanatic Kofa and this other short man that's still with him, this other foreign minister.
Come here.
Kimia, he's still with him. Those were the people, and Clark Weah, those were the three influential when CDC, the Jefferson Koji, all the people are Cara graded, all of them, the one that George Weah, the poor in the street, those were the people, Mr. President, you still have the age on your side. And that's one of the reasons you see coming here with him. Most likely, if the going gets tough and the tough gets going, George Weah could possibly waive his political right and hand CDC over to Fanatic Kofa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very much. Thank you. Sissy, give me another closing while I take this call.
Thank God I get 2 times because they want to talk to we having a Russian spy where getting glasses to them or what. But look, man, I think Terry was making a point here because the judiciary is going to be looking at what I would like or not, there's politics in the judiciary. It's going to be a political expediency. And because the law requires an interpretation, means there's always a gray spot. How gray is that gray spot? Is left up to the judges. What part of that gray spot they want to dance and what that feeds into politically, they're going to have to consider that. That is the reason you have a gray spot. So I think Terry has a point. I think the way he was saying it is that there is a gray spot for a reason, and these justices are going to pick what part of that gray spot has the political expediency. But for me, I'm waiting to see tomorrow, and actually see the end of the week actually. Because if this thing is not settled, the state of the nation is going to be disastrous for the executive. It's going to look really bad when you have disgruntled members of the House of Representatives either disrupting the section or plain or just locking the doors. And they have to resolve this before they're done.
Yeah, and then also there'll be no international guests attending such a program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what that's go ahead, Sissy.
Because the order, the process is that the Speaker of the House heads that joint chamber with the senators and everybody, and the Speaker of the House has to gavel in and welcome in the chief executive. So which speaker and which gavel is going to be used to welcome in the chief executive? Are we going to have 2 speakers and 2 gavels? Being gaveled in. So it's in the interest of the executive to get this thing resolved. And I think the judiciary tomorrow, the chief justices will give them a way out on how to resolve this.
Right. Thank you, Sissy. Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you, Dr. Tutu. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate it again tonight. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to be here. Okay. Thank you, guys. Again, Samson to Labrador Public Radio. I want to thank Dr. Toto, Sissy Goya, Mr. So, CEO So, Mr. Terry Collins, and other analysts of LPR here. You guys did a wonderful job again tonight. Let's meet again tomorrow. We do these things now because we like to, or we want to, or we enjoy. Of course, we enjoy, but we do those things so that you, the audience, will be engaged and have a conversation with all of us. I want to thank all of you again tonight for tuning in to Labrador Public Radio. We're here to have a discussion, and we will continue with the discussion. Thank you very much, and we'll say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Let's continue to pray for one another. Good night, folks.